We all look for peace. I mean, not just, peace and quiet outside, but that real stillness
Mm-hmm.
inside.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the last time you were really in a crisis. A scary diagnosis, maybe, or just that feeling of being completely overwhelmed.
When you feel like you've lost control.
Exactly. And in that moment, where does that strength come from? Is that kind of peace something we build ourselves, something we earn?
Yeah.
Or is it something that's given to us?
That tension, between what we earn and what we're given,
Yeah.
that's exactly what we're digging into
It
today.
is. We're doing a deep dive into the Islamic concept of Sakina.
Sakina, it's usually translated as divine tranquility
Mhm.
or quietude.
Yeah, and we've been deep in some pretty heavy theological commentary, key verses from the Quran, especially from Surah Al-Fath,
Mm-hmm.
and all these classifications of the human soul.
And our goal today is really to map it all out for you.
We want to show you what Sakina actually is, where it shows up, and the spiritual work you have to do to be, well, ready for it.
It's a fundamental part of a believer's resilience.
Okay, so let's start with the definition. Just the word itself, Sakina, it sounds weighty.
It is. Linguistically, the root means composure, dignity, a kind of profound stillness.
Skullness.
Yes, it's the total opposite of agitation, of confusion, of just chaotic movement. When the sources talk about someone having sakina, they mean a person with this quiet seriousness, this real self-possession.
But the theology takes it way beyond just good manners or a calm personality,
Well,
right?
absolutely. Theologically, it's defined as a specific divine act, a deployment, you could say.
A deployment.
Yes, we look at thinkers like Ibn Qayyim, who was a master at analyzing the human heart. And he described sakina as composure and stillness that is specifically placed into the heart of a person during moments of intense fear.
Wow. So it's not just everyday calm. It's like an emergency infusion of tranquility.
That's a perfect way to put it, emergency grade. The person who receives it, they don't feel that crushing anxiety from the challenge they're facing.
So it doesn't take the problem away.
No, not the external problem, but it strengthens their faith, their conviction. It's a spiritual stabilizer. Our sources even call it a divine light that gets poured into the heart.
A divine light. A light that helps you see what exactly? What is the fear making you see that's false?
Well, fear makes obstacles seem impossible, right? It makes you doubt everything. The light of Sakina lets you see reality clearly without that distortion of panic or despair.
I see. So you can actually think straight and act correctly.
Precisely. And that's why this is so critical. The opposite is just chaos. Total loss of control, that feeling of being abandoned.
Which brings up an interesting tension. You said it's a gift, a mahohib, but not something you just acquire, a makasib.
Exactly. It's something sent down. But, as we're about to see, there are prerequisites.
Okay, let's get into that. The purpose of it. There's a specific verse in the Quran, right? Surah Al-Fath.
Verse 4. It says, Sakina is sent down into the hearts of believers so that they may increase in faith.
So it's designed to make you stronger through the hardship.
And there's no better example of this than the story behind that chapter, the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. It was just a moment of extreme vulnerability.
Okay, let's set the scene on that because it really drives home how this works. The Prophet Muhammad and his companions, they're traveling to Mecca for pilgrimage. And the really crucial detail here is that they are going without weapons.
Right. Into hostile territory controlled by the Quraysh.
It's a situation that's just, it's designed to create fear, to create doubt. You could imagine the followers wanting to turn back.
Absolutely. The tension must have been unbelievable. And the sources are clear on this. Without the descent of Sakina on them, they would have lacked the patience and the confidence to go through with it.
Human nature would just take over, panic.
Retreat.
Or violence even. The fear was distorting their reality, making them see only the potential for disaster. But the Sakina, it stabilized their hearts, their reason.
Let them stay patient, and that led to what the sources call a near victory. It did. It laid the groundwork for everything that came later. And the lesson for you, for anyone, is that Sakina arrives when the pressure is at its absolute highest. It helps you hold on to who you are.
It turns the crisis from something that could break you into something that builds your faith.
Exactly.
So if this is sent down to help us in an external crisis,
Yeah.
what do we need to be like on the inside to even receive it?
Now we get to the core mechanics.
We have to look inward at the nafs.
The nafs, the soul or the self. The heart is where the sakina lands, but the state of your nafs determines if it's ready to receive it. And our sources talk about three main states, a kind of spiritual battleground inside all of us.
Okay, let's slow down here because these three terms are so central, but they can sound a bit like jargon. Let's start at the bottom. The most impulsive state.
That would be an-nafs al-amara, the instigator of evil.
Okay.
This is the soul that's just driven by passion, by desire, instant gratification. It pushes you towards sin. It's the most raw, undisciplined part of us.
And most of us, I think, probably live a step above that. We know when we're messing up.
Which brings us to the second level, an-nafs al-lawwama. This is the self-reproaching soul.
The self-blaming soul.
Yes, and it's an improvement because there's awareness there. But it's defined by constant blame, instability. The main feeling here is regret.
What does that regret sound like? Is it like a productive guilt, or is it more like...
Anxiety.
It's much closer to anxiety.
Right.
Because it doesn't have any certainty. It's that voice in your head that's always saying, if only I had done that, or, oh, I shouldn't have done this.
Oh, okay.
They can't find peace in good times or in bad. It's always looking backward with regret or forward with worry. A very unsteady place to be. You know what's wrong, but you haven't found the stability to fix it.
Which makes the third state the goal, the place you want to get to.
That is an-nafs al-mutma'inna, the appeased or tranquil soul.
The tranquil soul.
This soul is defined by one thing: certainty in Allah. It's reassured by His promise. It believes His word. And, this is key, it is content with the divine decree. Content with whatever happens, good or bad.
Whether it brings ease or hardship, benefit or damage, it's moved past the if only of the self-blaming soul.
It's reached a state of equilibrium.
Total spiritual equilibrium. And that is the state that is ready, that is able to receive and hold a Sakina. It's the soul that's being addressed in the Quran when it says, return towards your Lord satisfied and pleasing to Him.
So that state, the mu'mina, that's the destination. So what's the journey? What's the active work, the makasib, that we have to do to prepare the ground for this tranquility to arrive?
Well, the sources are very, very clear on this. You cannot expect victory over your external enemies.
Or just external chaos.
Right. Without first winning the victory over your own internal passions, the prerequisite for the gift of Sakina is active obedience.
Obedience first in the heart and mind, which then becomes good actions.
Exactly. The sources command the believer to fight the soul and prevent it from succumbing to passion. That internal struggle is how you attach oneself strongly to Allah.
And that's the non-negotiable part of the deal.
It is, and when a believer really commits to that inner discipline, they can reach a very high spiritual station called wilaya.
Wilaya. We hear that translated as divine protection, but it's more than that, isn't it? It's a closer relationship.
It's an intimacy, sincerity and devotion to God's cause. You could think of it as a kind of divine friendship or proximity. And the sources say whoever reaches it is guaranteed well-being here and paradise later.
But there's a really important clarification the sources make here, and it feels very relevant for today.
It is vital. It's about the concept of the awliya, or the friends of God.
Right. The text warns you not to confuse that spiritual closeness with some kind of worldly supernatural power.
That's it, exactly. The sources are extremely clear. The true awliya are simply Muslims who are distinguished by their deep piety. That's it. The protection they get is spiritual security.
But they can't be used as intermediaries.
No. The text explicitly says you shouldn't seek help from them before or after their death outside of normal, natural means.
That's a huge distinction.
It is. It grounds the whole concept in piety and direct submission. It pulls the focus away from any kind of mysticism or looking for shortcuts and puts it right back on your own spiritual discipline.
Which is the whole foundation for receiving Sakina in the first place.
It keeps the path pure. The source of strength is always the divine gift, not some power you've acquired.
Okay, let's pull all these threads together for you. We've traced Sakina from a word meaning quietude all the way to its role in a major historical crisis.
And then inward to the three states of the soul: the impulsive amara, the regretful lawama, and the goal, the tranquil mutma'inna.
Right, and that journey, that internal battle, is how you prepare for Sakina, that divine antidote to fear, which is sent right when you need it most.
So even when you're facing something that feels terrifying, overwhelming, there is a spiritual resource for you to stay strong.
Provided you've done the inner work, the obedience. It transforms that hardship into a moment of real growth.
And that takes us right back to that question from the beginning, that idea we wanted you to think about.
The gift versus the effort.
Right. If Sakina is, as sources keep saying, primarily a mahuba gift and not a makasib, something you earned entirely on your own, then what does that say about the nature of our work?
Is our struggle, our fighting against our lower self, is that all just to cultivate an empty space? to clear out the clutter in our hearts.
So that when that divine light of Sakina is sent down, the vessel is actually ready to receive it, ready to hold that powerful, crisis-proof stillness.
It's a deep question.
Mm.
The relationship between our striving and our grateful reception of help.
A profound map for anyone trying to find some unshakable quiet in a pretty chaotic world.